Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed on some of the most complex, rapidly evolving topics out there. We're here to arm you with surprising facts and critical insights, really cutting through the noise to get to the core of what truly matters. Today, we're plunging into the profound and, well, often surprising impacts of artificial intelligence. And when I say profound, I mean impacts that stretch far beyond just clever algorithms. They're reaching into, fundamental aspects of our world, things like energy infrastructure, global geopolitics, even the very nature of work and investment.
That's right. For this deep dive, we've meticulously gone through quite a stack of sources. We've looked at insightful reports from The Information, some in-depth studies from McKinsey & Company, and other key tech news as well. Our mission really is to pull out the most important nuggets, connect the dots, and help you understand the dynamics of this incredibly fast-moving landscape.
So get ready for a conversation that we hope sparks those aha moments, delivering insights you might not have considered before. Okay, let's unpack this then. When we talk about the AI boom, our minds often jump straight to, groundbreaking chips or super clever algorithms. But what's truly becoming the new bottleneck for AI's future isn't silicon at all. It's something, far more foundational.
Yeah, what's really striking here is that we seem to be past the major chip shortages, at least for now. The real battleground for AI's future is electricity. It really is. The industry is facing just an unprecedented compute crunch. And it's because these next-generation AI data centers, they aren't just big, they're demanding gigawatts.
Gigawatts. Wow.
Yeah, an unprecedented amount of power. It really signals the scale of this new energy battleground. And the traditional energy grid, it simply can't keep up with this kind of demand, which is why these tech giants are effectively becoming their own utilities.
Becoming their own utilities. How does that work?
Well, for instance, you've got OpenAI's Stargate project in Texas and xAI's Colossus in Memphis. They're planning to power their supercomputers with on-site gas plants.
On-site gas plants.
Exactly. And we're also seeing these massive energy deals. Look at Crusoe securing 4.5 gigawatts of power access by 2027. That figure actually rivals Microsoft's entire global data center footprint from just 2023.
That's staggering.
It is. And this trend, it effectively privatizes critical energy infrastructure. It grants companies that can secure their own power this powerful new competitive moat.
Right, but hang on, here's where it gets really interesting for me. This massive push for power seems to directly challenge all those green AI pledges we keep hearing from these tech titans. Is the reality a bit, browner than the green promises? Is this brute force approach sustainable?
That's the core of it. It definitely forces us to confront what some are calling the green AI paradox. You're right. The push for raw power directly challenges those green AI pledges. Take Microsoft, for example. Their emissions are reportedly at an all-time high, largely due to AI spending. And Google's greenhouse gas emissions are up 13%, making its own carbon-free goals, in their words, challenging.
Challenging. Yeah, I bet.
The reality seems to be a brute force approach for now, just building larger, more power-hungry models. And this isn't just a PR challenge, It's prompting a real reevaluation of corporate sustainability metrics. It might even shift investment away from companies relying only on offsets towards those actively pursuing, say, innovative, less energy-intensive AI architectures or directly integrating renewables on site.
So the market might start to differentiate between greenwashing and actual green AI.
Potentially, yes, based on how companies tackle this fundamental power demand.
Yeah. Okay, so if this energy demand is pushing emissions to record highs, this isn't just about corporate strategy anymore, is it? This sounds much bigger, like a matter of national importance.
Absolutely. When you look at the broader implications, control over this energy-intensive AI infrastructure is now, I think, unequivocally a national security matter. The U.S. government is definitely staying actively involved. We saw that July 23rd executive order aimed at accelerating federal permitting for data center infrastructure. It really emphasizes the urgency to keep this critical infrastructure on shore. It truly is becoming a new kind of arms race, where securing land, power, and capital dictates the winners.
Are there any innovative solutions emerging, though, besides just building gas plants?
There are some interesting developments. For instance, Microsoft signed a deal to draw power from a restarted nuclear facility at 3 Mile Island.
Nuclear power,
Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
Right. And what's particularly innovative is how AI itself is being used here. The Idaho National Laboratory, they're collaborating with Microsoft using AI models, including from OpenAI and Anthropic, to actually automate how companies get permits to build new nuclear reactors.
Using AI to build nuclear plants faster.
Essentially, yes. to speed up the permitting. The aim is to shorten the nuclear licensing process from several years down to just 18 months by the end of 2026. That was actually a goal set by President Donald Trump executive order.
Right.
And this AI-driven automation, they estimate it could cut permit costs by more than 20% and reduce the time it takes to generate these complex 3D reactor models or meshes from several weeks to less than a day.
Fascinating. Okay, so shifting gears a bit from the energy-driving AI, let's look at how the biggest tech players are actually weaving AI into the very fabric of their businesses. What's Google doing with its Gemini model? That seems like a big focus for them.
Oh, absolutely. Google has made a very bold move. They've appointed a new AI architect, and their task is explicitly embedding the Gemini model across Google's vast ecosystem of products and services, from search to workspace, everything.
Everything. So seamless integration is the goal.
Exactly. The idea is to make Gemini's multimodal capabilities handling text, images, code, audio, video, just ubiquitous. But, crucially, without disrupting the user experience too much, this strategy aims to create a really cohesive AI-driven environment. Leveraging Google's massive data troves for, highly personalized interactions, it's a direct counter to rivals like OpenAI and Microsoft.
And how are they doing that practically?
Well, they're retrofitting existing products like Gmail, Docs, Workspace with Gemini's generative features. They're optimizing Gemini for hardware too, from smartphones right up to cloud servers. And they're exploring tiered pricing models. There's talk of a potential Google AI Lite plan to maybe democratize access a bit. Internally, they're seeing huge numbers, over 400 million monthly active users for the Gemini app already. And Gemini 2.0 is showing advancements in what they call agentic capabilities.
Agentic? What does that mean?
It means the AI systems are becoming capable of performing complex, multi-step tasks autonomously, acting more like an agent on your behalf.
Okay, got it.
Now, Google does acknowledge the privacy concerns here. They emphasize ethical AI deployment, safeguards for biases, transparency, and so on. Mm-hmm. They've also merged their AI research teams, including the famous DeepMind. And get this, they're processing 480 trillion tokens monthly.
Trillion.
That's the sheer volume of data their models are analyzing and learning from. It's a 50-fold increase year over year. It just underscores the immense scale of their AI training and inference. The idea, they say, is to build a whole school of AI, from TensorFlow right through to Gemini.
That is an aggressive integration strategy. So what about Meta? They seem to be making a huge push specifically into AI video technology. What's their strategic angle?
Meta is definitely being aggressive on the AI video front. They're actively seeking deals, partnerships, or even acquisitions. They're reportedly in active discussions with the AI video startup Pika, and they previously explored acquiring Runway, which you might know is valued at over $3 billion, and is known for creating videos with consistent characters.
Right, I remember hearing about Runway.
They also had talks with another one, Higgsfield, though apparently those are no longer active. So Meta's approach is really multi-pronged, a mix of partnerships, licensing, acquisitions, and just heavy internal development. They've made a multi-billion-dollar investment in Scale AI for data labeling, and they're on a strategic recruitment drive for top AI talent.
And the goal there, better cat videos. Or something more strategic?
Well, better user experiences and content delivery, certainly. But a key focus is enhancing advertising. They have a stated goal for fully automated AI-powered ad generation by the end of 2026.
Fully automated ads?
Yeah, allowing businesses to create entire ad campaigns, video, text, targeting with minimal human input.
That sounds potentially disruptive for traditional marketing agencies.
It definitely could be. And of course, this intensifies competition in the social media space, particularly with rivals like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. But investors seem confident. Meta's AI investments appear to be paying off. AI-driven ad recommendations have reportedly contributed to a surge in their core advertising business, leading to a significant jump in stock value.
Okay, so Google and Meta are all in. What about the other big names? Apple, for instance. They've historically been a bit more cautious with capital expenditures, right? But I'm hearing things are changing on their AI front. Are they finally catching up?
That's a good point. When we look at the competitive landscape, Apple is indeed making a notable shift. They are lifting their capital expenditures significantly, up 45% to $9.5 billion for the first 9 months of their fiscal year, and that reflects higher investments specifically in AI.
45%, that's a big jump for Apple.
It is, especially given their historical tendency to avoid large capex. CEO Tim Cook has basically declared his intention to invest more, even though, yes, Apple's AI efforts have generally been seen as lagging so far.
Interesting. And how is this whole AI boom reshaping the competition among the major cloud providers? AWS versus Microsoft Azure versus Google Cloud. Is it creating new leaders?
It definitely seems to be shaking things up. Well, Amazon reported pretty good growth for its online stores recently. Its main profit engine, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, kept its growth rate static at 17%.
Static, huh? Not accelerating.
No. In stark contrast, Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud both posted accelerating growth, exceeding 30%.
Wow, over 30%?
Yes, and that's largely attributed to the increasing use of AI services on their platforms. Microsoft, of course, benefits hugely from being the main cloud provider for OpenAI, and Google's inherent strength in AI is helping it win customers too. Meanwhile, there have been reports that AWS has had some problems delivering enough capacity for the AI firm Anthropic.
Capacity issues. That goes back to the infrastructure and power demands we talked about.
Exactly. It suggests a pretty significant competitive shift being driven by these AI workloads.
Okay, so we've seen how the tech giants are playing this, but let's zoom out a bit. How is this complex technology, generative AI, actually landing in more established industries, like banking, for example? Are they going all in, or is it a more cautious integration?
Yeah, that brings up a really critical point about widespread adoption beyond pure tech. A recent study by McKinsey and the IACPM looked at 44 financial institutions. It found that about half of their senior leaders identified Gen AI as a priority, specifically for their credit business.
Half sounds like quite a bit. Where do they see the potential?
They see particular potential in areas like early warning systems for credit risk, drafting credit memos, customer engagement, things like that. The most advances so far seem to be in what they call concision.
Concision?
Yeah, the ability to summarize large volumes of data into digestible insights, useful for things like credit decisioning.
Makes sense. But are they actually deploying it widely?
Well, that's the catch. Despite prioritizing it, most banks say progress has actually been slower than expected. Many are quite cautious about scaling up. There's skepticism over the technology's financial benefits, the ROI. In fact, half of the institutions said ROI wasn't even a major consideration early in the process. They're still exploring.
What are the main roadblocks then?
Challenges include missing the necessary skills, the right frameworks, the operational architectures needed to support it, and then there are the significant risks. Data security breaches, obviously. Model hallucinations.
Hallucinations, you mean the AI making things up?
Exactly. Faulty outputs, which is a huge issue if you need near 100% accuracy, like in finance.
Yeah, you can't have your credit model hallucinating.
Precisely. Then there are cost-related risks. Lack of validation, because there isn't enough historical data for these new models, potential model and data bias, and latency issues, meaning it takes too long to get a response. In fact, more than 2 in 5 institutions said they've actually slowed development because of disappointing outcomes, citing insufficient accuracy.
So a lot of caution. Have any use cases actually reached full deployment?
Very few, apparently. Though about 24% have deployed what they call ad hoc applications, like virtual LLM assistants for maybe processing documents internally. And interestingly, it seems regional banks are surprisingly leading in the number of use cases implemented, maybe because they're more nimble.
Interesting. And what's driving them, if not immediate ROI?
The most important factor cited is productivity improvement. That was mentioned by 47% of institutions. They're hoping it makes their existing processes more efficient.
So what are the leading banks doing to try and accelerate this cautiously?
Well, the study highlighted 5 key steps the leaders are taking. First, getting all stakeholders aligned: business, tech, risk, everyone on the same page.
Okay.
Second, radically standardizing their data. This is huge for streamlining deployment. Third, installing a modular solution architecture so they can plug and play different components. Fourth, picking the low-hanging fruit like internal bots for early wins to build momentum.
Right, start small.
Exactly. And fifth, moving towards deploying agentic AI.
There's that word again, agentic.
Right. AI systems that use decisioning algorithms to create more cross-cutting impacts, really transforming workflows. An example given was an AI agent guiding a relationship manager all the way from a new application notification right through to a tailored to-do list after a customer conversation.
Okay, that sounds potentially powerful, but also complex. You mentioned security risks earlier. These AI agents designed to handle complex tasks autonomously, they must introduce new security vulnerabilities, right? I think I heard something about hacking contests exposing these issues.
Indeed they do. AI agents definitely open the door to new security vulnerabilities. There was a recent contest staged by AI researchers, and it revealed what they called deep and recurring failures.
Deep and recurring failures. That sounds bad.
It does. The agents frequently violated their explicit policies. They failed to resist adversarial inputs, basically, attempts to trick them. And they performed high-risk actions across sensitive domains like finance, healthcare, customer support.
How are they being tricked?
They could be tricked by malicious commands embedded in things like web pages and emails that the agent might process. And interestingly, the contest found that Meta's Llama models were the most susceptible to these hacks, while Anthropic's Claude models were apparently the toughest to trick, so there's variation between models too.
Okay, and now the big one. The question that seems to be on everyone's mind, causing a lot of anxiety: jobs. Is AI really coming for white-collar work, as many people fear? Or is it more about augmentation, helping people do their jobs better?
Yeah, this raises a really important question for individuals, for all of us, really. And a new paper published just this week by Microsoft researchers, it lends some credence to that concern. It predicts that white-collar jobs are indeed the most threatened by AI currently.
Which jobs specifically?
Well, translators, sales representatives, writers, customer service reps, telemarketers, they were among the highest on the list. But even STEM workers, like data scientists and web developers, were identified as jobs most at risk of being automated. This was based on tasks currently performed by Microsoft's own Copilot chatbot.
So based on what AI can already do?
Essentially, yes. Now, the paper doesn't say these jobs are actively being replaced yet, let's be clear on that. But the findings could certainly feel, well, ominous for job seekers in those fields.
Ominous indeed. It feels like we're at a real inflection point. Okay, so we've seen AI is driving these massive tech transformations, but implementing them successfully, it's clearly not just about the tech. We also had an interesting deep dive recently into another type of big tech project, enterprise resource planning, or ERP transformations. What did we learn there about what makes these huge projects succeed or fail? Especially the elements that have, nothing to do with the technology itself, because that seems relevant here too.
That's a really critical point, and the parallels are strong. ERP transformations are notoriously large, complex, difficult. They often cost millions, take years, and frequently run into delays and cost increases. Sound familiar?
Very familiar.
So the case of Metro AG, a big multinational food wholesaler, is incredibly illustrative here. Their ERP transformation had been dragging on for almost 5 years. The budget was spent, and they'd only launched a single pilot entity.
Ouch, 5 years and only a pilot.
Yeah. So Florian Wohlmann, who was then the CFO for Metro Austria, actually took on the leadership role for this struggling transformation. He recognized that many key business goals, like faster monthly closing, were simply impossible without getting this ERP system working. But his biggest surprise, as he put it, was just how many of the fixes had nothing to do with the technology itself.
Nothing to do with the tech. Okay, so what were the fixes?
Well, initially, the critical issues were things like a lack of internal capabilities, no real governance structure for managing the system integrator, the external vendor implementing the software, and, of course, cost overruns.
Standard big project problems.
Exactly. So what stands out were the crucial non-technical fixes they put in place. Waldman's team created a detailed handbook. It defined the scope, the timeline, the structure, the methodology. This was apparently crucial in just galvanizing the team, getting everyone aligned.
A handbook. Seems basic, but important.
Sometimes the basics work. They also set up a new project management office, a PMO, but one focused on proactive tracking with meaningful metrics, not just vanity metrics. KPIs for the overall program targets standardization, harmonization, automation, and also tying system integrator payment milestones directly to progress. This provided real transparency to the board.
Linking payment to performance. That makes a difference.
A huge difference. These efforts alone, just getting the governance and tracking right, reduced the program duration by 30% and saved double-digit millions of euros.
Wow. Just from better management.
Pretty much. They also implemented a strict no-excuse policy for timetable adherence. Deadlines were deadlines. And they revamped the relationship with their system integrator, the SI.
How did they do that? That relationship is often
very tricky. They actually started a whole new RFP process, a request for proposal for a new SI, based on simple principles: on time, on budget, and of high quality.
Yeah.
And the most critical factor in choosing the new SI, trust in their leadership team.
Trust. Interesting.
And crucially, they included a 33% variable fee in the contract, linked directly to performance. Things like ensuring on-time go live, adhering to software standards, rather than the SI just making money off change requests, which often happen.
Right, aligning incentives.
Exactly. They introduced solid performance tracking through quality reviews, specific payment ties to successful milestones, implemented template governance requiring committee approval for key developments, which led to greater system stability. Oh, and they invested 300 hours in training over 20 senior leaders in an ERP academy, getting buy-in and understanding.
So a lot of focus on process, governance, relationships, training, not just the software.
Precisely. And then to scale the rollout faster, they had to industrialize it. More automation, more simplification, which required even more detailed planning. They clustered countries based on their business model, legacy systems, resource readiness, legal framework, geography.
Smart. Grouping similar rollouts.
Yeah, to target more deployments efficiently. And they focused on the most complex countries first.
Counterintuitive, maybe. Why complex first?
To build the capabilities and learn the hard lessons early on, making future deployments easier. And this whole approach is projected to complete the rollout 2 years early and save up to 25% of the remaining program costs.
Incredible results. So what's the big takeaway lesson here for anyone listening who's leading a big tech project, whether it's AI, ERP, CRM, whatever it might be? Because it really sounds like success hinges on much more than just the tech itself.
Absolutely. I think the Mitro AG case really reveals that for these mega projects, whether it's AI or ERP, success isn't just vaguely about people management. It's specifically about how top-down executive authority enables ground-up discipline. It's about translating that strategic buy-in into tangible operational shifts, like, as we said, tying vendor payments to performance milestones. That's a lesson often overlooked when people get dazzled by the technology.
Right. So concrete recommendations.
The key ones seem to be, first, ensure you have direct access to and sponsorship from the C-suite. That authority is essential for pushing through tough changes. Second, get real buy-in from your team. Stay engaged, understand the details, but without micromanaging constantly. And third, always focus on the facts. Rigorously track meaningful KPIs. Don't let assumptions or just pure optimism cloud your judgment. At the end of the day, the human and organizational elements are often far more impactful than the technology itself in these transformations.
That's a powerful lesson. Okay, finally, let's talk about the broader market picture. With all this intense AI buzz, are we starting to see a return of, dare I say it, tech bubble behavior? Figma's IPO certainly raised some eyebrows, even for those of us who follow tech closely.
Oh, Figma's debut was definitely something you could call it bubble-like for sure. It happened on July 31st, 2025. Its stock just rocketed. An astonishing 250% jump from its IPO price of $33 to close at $115.50.
250% in one day.
In one day. And then it rose further to above $140 in after-hours trading. The euphoria was just intense. It absolutely led to questions about whether this AI boom excitement had percolated more broadly into the market, maybe irrationally.
But Figma isn't strictly an AI company, right?
Exactly. That's what's so surprising. Figma is an enterprise software firm, design software. It's not an AI developer or, a crypto firm. Yet, its closing price put it at about 55 times what bankers expected to generate in revenue in 2026.
55 times future revenue. How does that compare?
Well, the median forward multiple for the biggest software firms is around 13. So 55 is extremely high.
Extremely high, yeah.
Its enterprise value at the end of that first day was $66 billion, which is more than 3 times what Adobe was going to pay for the company back in that 2022 deal. The one that got created by regulatory opposition in Europe.
Right. So the source humorously suggested Figma shareholders should send flowers to those European regulators.
Indeed. A funny thought, but maybe also a sobering one, as you said, given the market dynamics.
What caused such a huge price surge?
A big factor was what's called a tight float. Only about 8% of the company's outstanding shares were actually sold in the IPO.
Limited supply, high demand.
Precisely. That limited supply created intense competition among buyers, dramatically pushing up the price. And it does suggest maybe a return of the meme stock phenomena to some extent, where some investors might no longer be paying close attention to fundamental analysis, like valuation metrics.
Is there a cautionary tale here?
Definitely. The source pointed out that this huge first-day pop was very reminiscent of Snowflake's IPO back in 2020. Snowflake shares similarly more than doubled on their first day.
I remember that one.
But eventually they traded below their IPO price. So the lesson seems pretty clear. Maybe don't buy on the first day.
Wise advice, perhaps. So it really sounds like while there's incredible, genuinely groundbreaking innovation happening with AI, there's also a significant dose of market exuberance, maybe even speculation, that listeners should definitely be aware of. Wow. Okay. What a deep dive into the AI landscape today, from the just immense energy demands powering this revolution to the strategic chess moves of the tech giants, the cautious adoption in traditional industries like banking, and the market sometimes, well, dizzying response. It's clear AI is reshaping pretty much everything around us.
Indeed. It's a really complex, incredibly fast-moving picture. There are significant opportunities, no doubt, for those who understand it, but also equally significant challenges that require really careful navigation and a lot of critical thinking.
Absolutely. And as AI continues its rapid expansion, becoming more deeply integrated into every facet of our lives, demanding ever-increasing resources, we're left with a compelling thought for you, our listeners, to consider. How might this intense scramble for power and computational dominance fundamentally alter the global technological landscape? And what strategic implications does this hold for nations and industries that are looking to stay competitive in this new era? Something to ponder. We really hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights and helped you stay well informed in this rapidly changing world.